So our next chapter is chapter 18, body fluids and circulation. In this one, different groups of animals have evolved different types of different methods to circulate various kinds of body fluids in their body. Different groups of animals have evolved different methods, different types of circulation methods to transport various kinds of food materials or absorption of digestion. Those are all the materials needed to be transported from one particular place to another particular place. For that purpose, different organisms have evolved different types of circulatory systems. For example, here, evolved. See, evolved means what? Adjusted according to their body arrangement. Okay, evolved means originated. Originated. Different groups of animals have evolved, have originated their body to transport various kinds of materials in their body. For example, sponges. Sponges Sponges and ciliates. Sponges and ciliates circulate the water from their surroundings. Circulate the water from their surroundings through their body cavities to facilitate their body cells to exchange of sponges. Porifera belongs to the Porifera phylum organism. Ciliates, many hydra, Aralia, jellyfish, Physalia, many type of organisms. Sponges, ciliates circulate the water from their surroundings. For example, so these two are surrounding one particular place. These two organisms circulate the water, from the surroundings through their body cavity. Through their body cavity. So through their body cavity, like this, through their body cavity. Through their body only, circulate water from their surroundings. To facilitate the cells, its body cells to exchange of gases. That means what? Simply, sponges and ciliates takes requirements through water, from the surrounding water to their body, through the body cavity, ciliates, sponges, so use their body cavity to exchange of gases. However, they will survive in water. In the water, oxygen is present in dissolved state. So that dissolved state oxygen will take to their body through their body cavity. To take the oxygen from the surroundings, their body cells are arranged, organized to take surroundings water to their body cavity. Like that, sponges, ciliates, body is originated. So more complex organisms means what? Crocodiles, reptiles, amphibians, etc. organisms, or else outside animals, buffalo, sheep, goat. Such kind of organisms are more complex organisms. Use special fluids to transport to various kinds of nutrients, gases, etc. More complex organisms use special fluids to transport to various kinds of food materials or gases. So some of the organisms use blood. Blood is used to transport various kinds of nutrients and gases from one particular place to another place. Especially higher organisms use blood as a fluid to transport various kinds of substances from one particular place to another place, including humans. Here, more complex organisms, those also will use blood only. More complex organisms use blood to transport various kinds of nutrients or gases from one particular place to another particular place. Okay, higher organisms, especially mammals, including humans, use blood as a medium to transport nutrients, gases, etc. In this chapter, mainly we discuss discussion on composition and properties of blood. Composition and properties of blood. And in this chapter mainly we will focus on composition and properties of blood and lymph. Lymph is a colorless fluid. Colorless fluid which contains white blood cells. Colorless fluid which contains white blood cells. Okay, so in this chapter mainly I will talk about composition and properties of blood and lymph, and also the mechanism, what kind of mechanism is involved in the circulation of blood. About that completely we will focus. First of all, let us keep discussion on blood. So we discussed that blood is the medium. So blood is already in lower classes you might have discussed. You might have learned blood. Blood is a fluid connective tissue. Blood is fluid connective tissue. Fluid. Because all the fluids are connective. Therefore, it is called connective tissue. Blood is the fluid connective tissue. It contains fluid matrix. Fluid matrix. Matrix, it is a ground substance. Matrix, in the matrix only all the contents of blood is located. Okay, so fluid connective tissue contains fluid matrix, plasma, and organelles. Fluid connective tissue. Blood is fluid. So that fluid is connected with each other. Therefore, it is called fluid connective tissue. In which, what are the components? Fluid matrix. It is a ground substance, major substance. Fluid matrix, plasma, and formed elements. Formed elements means what? Blood cells. Formed elements, etc. Blood cells. These are all present in plasma. Sorry, blood. So first of all, let us see matrix. Already I said that. Fluid matrix. Fluid matrix. It is intercellular substances in the blood. Blood is a fluid matrix. Fluid connective tissue, we will also call fluid matrix. All the intercellular substances are present in the blood. All intercellular substances, are present in the fluid matrix. Plasma. So blood contains plasma. Okay, so plasma is straw-colored fluid, slightly alkaline in nature. Slightly alkaline in nature. Straw-colored fluid, slightly alkaline in nature, and it is viscous. Viscous fluid. Fluid. Viscous fluid. Viscous thick fluid. Viscous thick fluid. Okay, so the plasma constitutes 50% in the blood. Plasma percentage 50%. Okay, so the chief component of the plasma is 90 to 94% of the plasma is. The chief component of the plasma is. So 6 to 8% contributing proteins. Protein fats. 8% contributing proteins in plasma. Those proteins are albumin, one sequence center, fibrinogen, globulin, fibrinogen, globulin, albumin. Fibrinogen, globulin, and albumin. So fibrinogen. We have to remember this is FGA. FGA. Okay. So fibrinogen, globulin, FG. Fibrinogen, globulin, A. Albumin. Fibrinogen. It is present in inactive form. It is involved in clotting, coagulation or clotting. Clotting or coagulation of blood. See, when any wound or injury occurs on our body parts, immediately within 8 seconds, 8 to 10 seconds and 15 to 20 seconds, immediately the blood is clotted. So in that, fibrinogen is placed a major role. It is in inactive form. Initially, it was in inactive form. When injury or any damage occurs, in that conditions, it becomes active. Inactive form of fibrinogen becomes active and involved in clotting or coagulation of blood during wound or injury. Okay, so fibrinogen in clotting of blood. So the active formation of fibrinogen depends upon vitamin K. So if we have sufficient vitamin K, K vitamin, okay, so then we will get the blood is clotted vitamin, coagulated vitamin. Okay, fibrinogen is mainly involved in coagulation or clotting. Globulin protein. It is involved in defense mechanism. Defense mechanism of body. Defense means what? Immunity power. Our body, from birth only, our body can develop some amount of immunity. So that immunity can protect our body from small ailments. Normal, some day-to-day infections like cold, cough, fever, headache. From such kind of infections, globulin protein will give cure for our body. Okay, so defense mechanism. Albumin, it plays a major role in osmotic balance. Osmotic balance. See, movement of molecules. Osmotic balance means movement of molecules. Osmotic balance, movement of molecules, and maintain some of the fluids balance. That is depends upon albumin. If we have sufficient quantity of albumin, in our body, movement of fluids effectively takes place. Circulation process takes place effectively and maintain in our body some of the valuable fluids constant. See, after releasing one finger, if we release, our body cannot release complete urine. So after releasing urine, we will come up back. Some amount of urine will be stored in our urinary bladder. Okay, so in such a way, our body maintains some of the fluids constant. That is called osmotic balance. Okay, movement of fluids and maintain some of the fluids balance. Should not expel completely. Okay, so that balance is maintained by the albumin. Along with these, plasma also contains some amount of minerals. Those minerals are plasma also contains some amount of minerals. Those are sodium ion, calcium ion, magnesium ion, sodium ion, calcium ion, magnesium ion, bicarbonate ion, chlorine ion, etc. Okay, these are very important to our body. These are called minerals. If these minerals are lost, we will be saturated, we will be tired oftenly. Okay, so these plasma contains some amount of minerals. Those are along with these. Some of the plasma also contains glucose, amino acids, lipids, etc. Glucose, amino acids, lipids, etc. So these are present in our body. These are always transit. Glucose, amino acids, lipids are also present in our body as they are always transit. These are transit as they are transit in body. Transit means they cannot stay in a particular place. Okay, so they always move from one place to another place to vital organs. So generally, glucose, amino acids, fatty acids are formed, absorbed in the walls of the intestine. From there, it will be circulated throughout the body. That's why, as they're always transit. Transit means they can move from one particular place to another place and helps in the growth of various kinds of organs. That process is called assimilation. Already we discussed that. So the absorption. So after absorption, that's maybe glucose, sucrose, fructose, lactose, lipids, fatty acids, these are all directly absorbed into the tissues. Then these are integrated and helps in the growth, repair and energy storage. In such a way, glucose play a major role. That's why they are called transit in body. So they cannot stay one particular place. They are moved from one particular place to another place and helps in the growth of vital organs. Along with these, so these are 6 to 8 protein factors. So without these clotting factors, plasma without clotting factors is called serum. Serum. The plasma without clotting factors is called serum. See here, if you visit whenever any blood diagnosis lab, if you visit doctor for any disease, at that moment, first doctor will suggest go and take blood test, urine test, something test they will give. At that time, we visit the blood diagnosis lab. At that time, they will take blood from our body. Before taking blood from our body, they will add sodium oxalate or sodium citrate to prevent the clotting of blood in the test tube. See here, so this is the test tube. So when we will give blood, they will take blood and they will keep in the test tube. Whatever the blood they have collected from our body, that the blood they will put in the test tube. Soon after taking blood into this test tube, they will add sodium oxalate or sodium citrate to prevent the blood clot. If they could not add sodium oxalate or sodium citrate, immediately in this one, the blood is clotted. The blood is clotted. So, whatever maybe the factors are present, those who are in inactive state. So, if the blood is clotted, the clotting factors are inactive. So, the plasma without clotting factors is called serum. Okay. So, serum. If you visit blood diagnosis lab, you can get to know that. Okay. Plasma without clotting factors is called serum. So, this serum is used as antibodies, Okay. That's it. For other kinds of diseases. Okay. For other kinds of diseases, as a medicine, serum will be used. Okay, that's all. So this is the explanation about the plasma. Here, fluid matter is finished, the plasma is finished. Next, we will have a deep discussion on formed elements. Formed elements. Next topic. Formed elements. Formed elements. See, formed elements means leukocytes, platelets, erythrocytes, leukocytes, platelets. Platelets also called these are all collectively thrombocytes. These are all collectively occupies 45% in blood. Okay, so they 55%, 50 to 55% plasma. So these are all 45% total, 100%. Okay, so erythrocytes, leukocytes, platelets also called thrombocytes. So these are 45% are present in the blood. So first of all, let us see erythrocytes. Erythrocytes also called red blood cells. Everybody knows that red blood cells. The production of red blood cells is called erythropoiesis. The production of red blood cells is called erythropoiesis. Its number is more comparatively remaining cells. Okay, so red blood cells number is more in healthy human beings. It is about 5.5 million to 5.5 millions of red blood cells are present in 1 cubic millimeter of blood. 1 cubic millimeter of blood means 1 liter of blood, approximately. Okay, one liter of blood contains 5 to 5.5 millions of red blood cells are present in healthy adult human beings. Okay, so the production of red blood cells is called erythropoiesis. Similarly, so the nucleus is absent in red blood cells are anucleated. Red blood cells are anucleated. That means absence of nucleus. Devoid. Anucleated means devoid. Devoid of nucleus. Except mammals, except camel, reptiles, amphibians, etc. Except camels, amphibians, reptiles, etc. Red blood cells are devoid of nucleus. Anucleated means absence. Devoid means absence. Except camel, reptiles, amphibians. Okay, you have to remember that. Okay, so in all the mammals except camel, red blood cells are devoid of nucleus. Along with camel, amphibians, reptiles, fishes also. Okay, in those blood cells, in those organisms, red blood cells contain nucleus. Okay, that's all. Here, no need to confusion. In our body, red blood cells don't have nucleus. Here, if we go deep, mature red blood cells contains nucleus, but mature red blood cells don't have nucleus except camel, fishes, amphibians, reptiles. That means what? Camel, fishes, amphibians, reptiles, in those organisms, red blood cells contains nucleus. But in our body, mature red blood cells don't have nucleus. But immature red blood cells contains nucleus. If you go deeply, okay, that point. Generally, in adult human beings, the red blood cells are formed in long bone marrow. Long bone marrow. Long bone marrow. In adult human beings, red blood cells are formed in long bone marrow. Whereas in embryonic stage, the new red blood cells are formed in liver and spleen. Liver and spleen. So, in embryonic stage means when we were in mother's womb, at that time, the red blood cell production undergoes through liver and spleen. Liver, everybody knows that, I already said. Spleen. What about spleen? It is located in left side of the abdomen, left upper side of the abdominal region, there is an organ that is called spleen. The spleen, okay, spleen. So upper left region, upper left region of the abdomen, there is an organ that is called spleen. The spleen involved in the production of red blood cells in embryonic stage. The spleen is involved in developing immunity system of our body. Okay, upper region of the abdominal cavity, there is organ that is called spleen. This is spleen involved in the production of red blood cell during embryonic stage. Okay, when we were now, I am an adult. In my body, bone cells comes in. Red blood cells are formed in bone marrow. Whereas in your body, red blood cells are formed in long bone marrow. But when you are in mother's womb, long bone marrow not. Liver and spleen involved in the production of red blood cells. That is one function. And also, spleen majorly involved in immunity system, in developing immune system of our body. Okay. Yes. So, generally, the red blood cells are biconcave in shape. Biconcave. So like this, biconcave in shape. Mature red blood cells are biconcave in shape. That's it. Next, hemoglobin. Red blood cells contain iron containing pigment that is called hemoglobin. Already said that hemoglobin contains an element that is called iron containing element. Therefore, it is reddish color due to the presence of hemoglobin. That is red color. And also it is involved in exchange of gases. Iron oxidation number is less 2. Already I said that. Hemoglobin. In healthiest human beings, 12 to 16 grams of hemoglobin is present in every 100 ml of blood. Okay, in healthiest human beings, the percentage of hemoglobin is 12 to 16 grams. Okay, so in adult healthiest human beings, 12 to 16 grams of hemoglobin is present in every 100 ml of blood. Every 100 ml of blood contains 12 to 16 grams of hemoglobin. So hemoglobin is oxygen carrying protein. Not only oxygen, respiratory gases carrying protein. That's why it is called respiratory protein. Hemoglobin is a respiratory protein, as it is carries oxygen and carbon dioxide. Okay, therefore it is called oxygen carrying protein. That's all. So the span of red blood cells is 120 days. 120 days. The span of red blood cells is 120 days. After that, those red blood cells are destroyed in spleen. That is why spleen is called graveyard of the red blood cells or burial ground of the red blood cells. Okay. Very little amount of old red blood cells are destroyed in liver also. Major amount of red blood cells are destroyed in spleen. Therefore, spleen is called burial ground of the red blood cells. Burial ground, smasana vatika, smasana. Red blood cells are destroyed in spleen. Major excess amount of old red blood cells are destroyed in spleen. Very minute quantity are destroyed in liver. Per day, approximately 10 into 10 power 12 old red blood cells are destroyed and the same amount of new red blood cells are formed. Approximately, we cannot say exactly. Except doctors. Doctors also nowadays, we cannot say. Okay, per day 10 into 10 power 12 old red blood cells are destroyed in the spleen, and liver, and same amount of new red blood cells are produced. Okay, so this is the explanation about erythrocytes. Erythrocytes. Okay, all points we have been covered from the erythrocytes, red blood cells. Okay, that's all. Okay, so today about red blood cells